Hello, it's the Saturday Speakie, Walkie thing. Where the bloody hell am I? Actually, that sign behind me was a bit of a giveaway there. Creswell Crags. I love this place. I've got kids walking behind me. I don't love that at all. I hope you can hear me. I'm a distance from my microphone, and there are people everywhere. And the camera's pointing the wrong way. There. Where am I going? That way. What the hell have I got to talk about today then? I had a conversation with Andrea yesterday. She was telling me about this, well, you've heard of crowdfunding, or cloudfunding, we'll call it crowdfunding. There's this thing that she was describing that I can only suppose would be called crowd scripting, where this team of, I think it was like an animation thing they were doing. They would write a script or part of a script and then put it up for potential viewers to look at and say, yes, we like this bit, we don't like this bit, we'd rather you did this here and that there and stuff. And it sounded like a really novel idea initially. And I'm going to pause for a minute so you can see where I am. Some of you will be familiar with this already, but get a load of this. People. Don't know which way people are going, but I'm going this way. I'll start again in a minute. So, this crowd scripting. All the people would look at the script, say what bits do they like, what bits do they not like. And there's a big cave behind me. And they would get their script that way. Not even by committee, it was like by, script by democracy, I guess you would call it. And doesn't that sound really great, because democracy's wonderful? Actually, no. My initial thought was, hey, that's cool, but after a little bit of thinking I thought, no, actually that's really bloody awful. Because what you end up with is lowest common denominator. You end up with a script for the masses, to appeal to the masses, which basically means bland, dull, predictable. Seen it all before. Hey, wouldn't it be good if there was this renegade cop who didn't care about the rules and blah blah. Okay, Dirty Harry then. You know, you would end up with generic bleh, like the movie script equivalent of processed cheese, you know, movies by Dairy. Inoffensive to absolutely everybody, but so dull. What about those people who want a really, really nasty Stilton or something, you know, a camembert that's going to rot your tongue? Sometimes you need not to appeal to the masses. So that kind of thing I thought was awful. It might make a lot of money because, you know, it's there to appeal to the masses, but it takes away the creativity of a scriptwriter. It takes away a scriptwriter, and the best works are by a genius scriptwriter. The best films, the best books, the best games, they're written by a genius who had the balls to stand by their vision. And sometimes it doesn't work and you end up with a steaming, great big turd of a project. And sometimes you get a work of genius, but they take the risk. And script writing by democracy, there is no risk. And this kind of got me thinking, what about games then? Games at the moment seem to be really... The publishers and developers, they know what works. You're going to get racing games, you're going to get beat-em-ups, you're going to get first-person shooters galore, and everyone wants to write the next Call of Duty. Or, if your tastes are similar to mine, the next Battlefield. But there is no creativity. It's all out the window, it's designed by committee. God, it's lively around here. We have people crawling into caves. There are a lot of caves around here. God. I'm in a gorge and the sound really carries. So, you got your games designed by committee to appeal to the masses, and they're all the same. And it got me thinking, okay, what games are there? What games could I think of that clearly the designers had took a chance, they'd taken a risk, they weren't going to appeal to the masses. And did that game then work? And I think I thought of a couple. Defender is one. Now there's a game that everyone was used to Space Invaders. It should have been a disaster because there were tons of buttons. Everyone was used to left, right, fire. The aliens come down, they line up and wait for you to shoot them. And here was this monster of a game. Uber fast, sideways, scanners, lots of aliens. They're fast, they're attacking you, they're really bloody dangerous. And you've got 1,000,001 buttons to try and control your ship and fire and thrust and shields, and there were no shields. Hyperspace, all that. Shouldn't have worked. People should have looked at it and been terrified. But it worked. Eugene Jarvis is a genius. And he knew exactly what he was doing. But it didn't always work. He stuck to his vision. He knew best. He made the game he wanted to make. He made Blaster. Who's heard of that? I think it's a fantastic game. It was just about released on the 8-bit Ataris. The arcade game, it didn't. There was about one. And it just didn't get out there. It wasn't even approved, I don't think, in the end. They canned it. What was Tempest? Tempest should not have worked. Again, everyone was used to the aliens come down, you shoot them, you move side to side. And here's Tempest with this really weird into the screen vector graphics thing where the aliens come up at you and holy crap, you control it with a dial. What the hell was that all about? That should not have worked. But it did, and it's a brilliant game. So, what about more modern stuff? I can think of a couple. Res. By the time Res came out, things had moved on. We were into 3D, but we were into like free movement. And here was this kind of almost on-rails shooter. But it was psychedelic and trippy, and music was the major part of it, and there was something very surreal about it. And again, it shouldn't have worked. And in a way it didn't. It commercially, for a while, well, no, commercially it bombed. It didn't do well at all. It's now a collector's item, pretty much. It's kind of like David Bowie's Low album. I hope the wind isn't going to be a problem here on the mic. Yeah, David Bowie's Low. It didn't sell well at the time. Everyone looked at it and thought, that's really clever, but I don't really want to listen to it. What's up there? I've never been up there. It's a bit breezy though. No, I ain't going that way. Yeah, Bowie's Low didn't sell well at the time, but years later was recognised as a work of absolute genius and groundbreaking and influential. And now, years after Res, we get games that incorporate music as a gameplay feature. What is it? Everyday shooter. So I mean, it's not necessarily your big AAA titles, but you can see the influence in some games. And the last one that comes to mind, Shadow of the Colossus. That, what the hell? Most of the time you spend riding in a desolate landscape on a horse doing nothing except heading towards a certain point somewhere. And how the hell could that appeal to anyone? Except it does. It works. And this is what I'm talking about. The designers had the balls to I'm just giving you a view of what's behind me. The designers had the balls to stand by their idea, to not compromise, to do exactly what it is they knew they wanted to do. It was a work of art, if you like. Labour of love, perhaps. But it was theirs. It was their project. And they were going to do it, and either people would buy it or they won't. But they were damned if they were going to compromise for the sake of sales. So yeah, that's... I don't know if there are any like games that you can think of that fall into that, where they have said, damn the sales, we're making our game our way, it'll work or it won't. And sometimes you end up with a game that's an absolute dog's dinner. I can't actually think of any. I'm sure there are tons. And sometimes it's just bad game design, and sometimes it's just... it was too far ahead of its time. iRobot. There's a game that was too far ahead of its time. How many people even know what game that is? That was way, way, way ahead of its time, and it bombed. And it's a shame because it's fantastic. They knew what they were doing. They had a brilliant game. But it was too much for the people at the time to grasp. So yeah, designed by committee, designed by democracy. Democracy in politics is necessary, I think. You need to keep to the middle ground. Otherwise you'll get extremism. Take away democracy and you'll get Nazis and communists. You'll get your Hitlers and your Stalins. But when it comes to game design, yeah, we need our Call of Duties and our Battlefields and our Gran Turismos. Though that really is a labour of love. But we need the extreme stuff as well. We need the one person with a vision, or the one small team with a vision, who does their own thing. All of this, right, I'm gonna take a big step sideways now into self-promotion. I did a thing recently on my Benway's World channel. It's a series of videos that are based on Twitter trending hashtags. I do Twitter. I love Twitter. I like it vastly more than Facebook. And one of the things on it that I like is hashtags, trending hashtags. See, I know not all of you use Twitter. Quite a lot of people don't use Twitter and don't get it because it's initially kind of a bit confusing. You can follow all these people, but how do you know who can see what you say, stuff like that. But one of the things is hashtags, which like add a topic to the thing that you say. And anyone searching for that topic will see what you've said. And it can work a bit like an IRC chat room in some ways. But you get trending topics, which are like the most popular ones at the time. Trending hashtags. And these show up. There's a little box that tells you what's the trending hashtag of the moment. Or it gives you like half a dozen or something. And these are often really dumb. I find them vacuous and stupid and pointless, and often they can be quite offensive on offensive topics. I've seen some really racist or sexist or whatever stuff on there, and some that are just dumb, some that are pushing an agenda, some where the responses are going to be so obvious. The person clearly just did the hashtag because they wanted to be the person who made a trending hashtag. But I like to play with these. I will put in silly, sarcastic, ironic, sometimes just plain dumb responses, but not the responses that the people who made them thought of. And I've been doing that for about 2 years and keeping a record of all the responses that I'd made. And so last week I made a series of 10 videos, 1 minute long each with 10 of my responses to the trending hashtags. 10 of these videos, and I started putting them up on my Benway's World channel. And they bombed. Very, very obviously, very few people liked them. I got quite a few thumbs down for not many thumbs up. No one was saying bad things. Largely no one was saying anything. No one was watching. I've never done a series of videos or any videos with so few views. And that's fine. Because it's my thing. It was my idea. I enjoyed doing it. I know that not everyone gets it, but when I look at them, I think, that's actually really bloody clever, or witty, or funny, or some of them just have this herp-derp ridiculous stupidity about them that I find it funny. But I'm very, very aware that not everyone gets or appreciates my sense of humour. But it was my thing. And it's like, yeah, it probably ain't gonna do a Bowie's Low, and in years to come people will look at these videos and say, hey, he was actually really onto something there, that's so clever. That's not gonna happen. But I totally stand by those, and I think, you know, that there is this thing on YouTube of, oh, we've got to have the next big thing. It's not just on YouTube, it's in everything. It's in gaming, it's in filmmaking, it's in music, it's in writing. It's got to do the next big thing. Let's see what's everyone else doing. We'll copy that, but do it a bit different. And that need to have a hit, to have success, to be popular, it stifles creativity, and you don't get... I think people are scared of taking a chance for fear of being mocked, for fear of someone saying, that's a bit crap, for fear of running out of money because they spent all their money on development and then no one bought the game. Well, I suppose that's fair enough if you're putting lots of money into it, but this medium, it is a shame that fear is a factor. So yeah, to anyone who's sitting there thinking, I might make videos, but I'm scared people are going to laugh. Bollocks to that. Do it anyway. It doesn't matter if no one watches. If you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Anyone who's a little bit curious about those videos that I did, here we go, shameless self-promotion. Link down there to I put them in a playlist so you can watch them one after the other. 10 minutes of your life. And I mean, some of them, my favourite one, the hashtag was I am single because, or I'm single because, and it was mostly full of people making excuses or hating on the opposite sex. I'm single because all men are dicks, or I'm single because all women are bitches, which is stupid, and just that's the kind of moronic responses that you would expect to get to a trending hashtag like that. What I put was, I'm single because I never tell the truth. Wait a minute, that's a lie. I'm married. Ponder that one for a minute. So I told a lie, confirming, see, I lie, I'm a liar, that's why I'm single. But no, because the lie is I'm not single at all. Yeah, there are no conclusions to be drawn from that. It's not deep and meaningful, but if you sit and ponder it for a while, it might make your head explode trying to rationalise it when there is nothing rational about it, or logical. Oh, why Maranas? I love these. Hello.
Dare jump up.
They're beautiful.
It's like walking through a chimp.
Oh, bless. Yeah, so, and that's what I do. I play with it. I try and I figure half the time when you got trending hashtags, no one even looks at them. They put their own thing and don't look at anyone else's. But I think anyone stopping to look at half of mine, after reading all the standard ones that were getting dumped on there, would be like, holy crap, what's this guy on? Or something like that. Or, oh, I don't get it. Yeah. Straying from the herd or the flock and doing something a bit different, and be damned if people don't get it, don't appreciate it, don't see the humour in it, think it's stupid. Right, I'm nearly back at my car now. I hope there's not too much wind in the mic. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button. I upload videos daily, so go ahead and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more. To all those who've already subscribed, I'd just like to say a great big thank you.